Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome aboard. I am Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health, reminding you that only you can prevent allopathic reductionism. We've got a treat for you. We are now streaming video live in association with the radio show. Check out the link on the front page at fireyourmdnow.com. That's fireyourmdnow.com. Just click on the little link and you will see me live and in living color. In addition to being able to listen to me, oh my God, can it get any better than that? 866-582-9933. That's the number to call to speak with me live today, 866-582-9933. And if you're listening to the podcast, that number, of course, 855-347-3696, 855-347-3696. And, of course, as always, 24/7 on the World Wide Web, fireyourmdnow.com and fireyourmdnow.ca. Last night, I did a webinar to over 100 people. Our webinar room can only hold 100 people. We maxed it out. That's the third time that we've maxed out the webinar room. We're going to have to dial in another webinar server in order to accommodate our growing fan base, a growing audience all around the world. Last night on the webinar, we had people from South Korea, from Portugal, from Australia, from the United Kingdom, from Canada, from the United States. It was awesome. 100 people told. And I was speaking about, I gave a 50-minute presentation about how to optimize the absorption of your nutritional supplements, how to optimize the absorption of your nutritional supplements, because that's the whole deal here, right? We're attempting to fill your body's nutritional tank up because your body knows how to fix itself. Your body wants to fix itself. This is the naturopathic foundation principle. It's referred to as vis medicatrix naturae, vis medicatrix naturae, the inborn natural ability of the human body to fix itself. And this is something that people get confused about all of the time, because the average person on the street, if they have any inkling at all about what naturopathic medicine is, they will tell you, it just rolls off the tongue, well, those naturopathic doctors, they're just interested in giving natural medicine. Well, what the heck does that mean? What's a natural medicine? Every single homeopathic medicine ever made is not found in nature. They are manufactured by human beings from things that show up in nature. Herbal medicines, herbal tinctures are not found in nature. The herb is, but we have to manipulate the herb into a medicine, right? It's not exactly natural. This is not what we do. We do not deliver natural therapeutics, whatever that means. I'm still trying to figure out what that means. What we do, however, is support and promote the human body's natural ability to fix itself. We support and promote the built-in God-given ability of the human body to fix itself, and this is where the term came from, naturopathic. And, you know, this is a beautiful thing to do. This is a wonderful thing to do, and quite frankly, most people thought that this was what their MDs did. You know, most people think that MDs are in charge of health care. MDs are not in charge of health care. MDs do not practice health care. MDs practice disease management. And MDs are not trained in how to make the body healthier. MDs are not trained in how to get to the root cause of whatever it is that's at the bottom of your illness. MDs are trained in how to deliver drugs and surgery in order to suppress and manage the symptoms of the illness. MDs can't even cure heartburn. They can manage it with a little purple pill. They can't cure arthritis or high blood pressure. They certainly can't cure degenerative disc disease or osteoarthritis of the knee, but they can give you 1 fake knee, 2 fake knee, 3 fake knee, 4. They can do that, and they often do, and they don't give you a refund when the first one, the second one, the third one fails, do they? No. This is a very interesting proposition to people, and to most people, when they understand this simple, basic concept, it is a eureka moment for them. Your medical doctor, you know, they might be really nice people. This is not a personal criticism. This is a professional fact. Allopathic medicine The training of an allopathic physician argues that the human body is a machine made of parts. It's a biochemical soup, which was a random conflagration of evolutionary fiat that happened thousands of years ago in some antediluvian swamp somewhere. And then the human body grew and evolved over time, and the human body doesn't have the ability to fix itself, and that once you're sick, you're screwed. Once you're sick, you're screwed is the MD's mantra. Now, that's good for the pharmaceutical companies, isn't it? Because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that it profits the drug companies more to manage the illness than it does to fix the illness. Right? I mean, they make more money by managing it than they do by fixing it. If they fix it, you don't have to keep taking your drugs. If they fix it, you don't need that fourth knee surgery. If they fix it, they've fixed it, and you're gone from their office. It's remarkable to me that we have given so much social cachet, that we have given so much prominence and so much respect to people with MD after their name. We have. It's a cultural phenomenon. You know, it started with Marcus Welby and the MASH and Dr. Kildare and you know, that show that George Clooney was on, right? And it's kind of snowballed into this overarching social obeisance that most people in North America suffer from. We all genuflect automatically at the altar of the MD without question, because we think that our MD knows what's best for us. We think that our MD has their hands on the safest, most effective, most affordable therapeutics available to humankind, but they don't. As is evidenced by the fact that under their tutelage, under their care, quote unquote, our health has gotten worse. Our life expectancy has gotten worse. Alzheimer's is skyrocketing. Autism is skyrocketing. Birth defects are skyrocketing. Type 2 diabetes. I mean, don't even get me started about type 2 diabetes. It is crazy how bad it's getting. And yet, we keep going back to the same dry well. I mean, you do. You continue to pay your medical doctor your medical insurance premiums every month. You do that. You do your medical insurance premiums every month, and what does that give you? That gives you access at some time in the future to the system of medicine that's not only the most ineffective system of medical treatment on the planet, but it's also the leading cause of death. 780,000 people a year killed by MD Therapeutics. 780,000 people a year killed by MD Therapeutics, and we keep going back to that same river. We keep going back to that same well. We keep going back to that same garden. We're eating the rotten fruit, and we wonder why we're dropping like flies. Because your MD does in fact not know what's best for you. Your MD does not know what's best for you. Your MD does not have their hands on the most current, safest, most effective, most affordable therapeutics available to humankind. They do not. They only know what they've been trained in: drugs and surgery, drugs and surgery, drugs and surgery, not meant to support the body's ability to fix itself, but meant to manage and suppress your symptoms. Most people are smarter than MDs. They have much more common sense. I mean, for goodness sake, if there was mold in your house, you know, there's mold in your house. Let's say that you have a basement and, you know, there was a flood and there's water in your basement, and now a month later you've got mold growing in your basement. Well, most people would look to get to the source of what the mold was, find out how the water got in the basement in the first place, and fix it so that water doesn't keep getting into the basement. So, you know, you call up that company that lines the basement. I forget their name, right? Or you put in a good drainage system around the house so water doesn't get in the first place. That's what most people would do. However, if it was an MD that owned that house, what they would do, or, you know, if you hired an MD, mold elimination company, to come over, they'd just spray the hell out of the basement with, you know, chemicals to kill the mold. They would do absolutely nothing to prevent it from coming back. They would do absolutely nothing to prevent it from coming back. They'd spray the hell out of the mold that they could see, and then they'd paint over the rest. keeping their fingers crossed. And this is insanity. This is insanity. We've given the children the keys to the kingdom, and they've, the keys to the car, and they've driven it over a cliff. It's in a ditch, upside down, in a swamp. And, we wonder why we have a problem, because we've taken the wrong dog to the hunt. We've given the wrong medical profession all of the legal responsibility, all of the legal power, all of the political power. I'm a licensed naturopathic physician, did 4 years of pre-med. The University of Massachusetts in Amherst did 4 years of naturopathic medical school at Bastyr University in Seattle, Washington. Completed 900 hours of clinical supervision, passed all of my courses, graduated with flying colors, took national boards, passed them, took state boards, passed them, and have been licensed to practice naturopathic medicine for the better part of 2 decades. However, in the great city of Chicago, and Boston, and Miami, and Atlanta, and you name it, the list goes on, it's illegal for me to practice medicine. Can't do it. In Seattle, I can deliver babies, perform minor surgery, prescribe drugs. How about that? You can prescribe drugs holistically. Did you know that? You can. I can call myself a physician in Seattle. I can order any diagnostic test I want, work in hospitals, and it's all paid for by insurance. However, if I even call myself a doctor in the great state of Illinois, I'm fined $5,000, which I was. The great state of Illinois, the Department of Professional Regulation, fined me $5,000 because I used the word doctor on my website. And, we're okay with this? Listen, I'm not okay with this. You shouldn't be okay with this either. I've said it a million times. I'll say it again. If you're not angry, you're simply not paying attention. There is a better way. That's why we're here. I'll be taking your calls to address your health issues when we come back. 866-582-9933. This is Fire Your MD Now. To speak with me live, 866-582-9933. Just like Mary from California did. Hey, Mary, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi. I was hoping to get some advice for my son. He's 32 years old, and he was just diagnosed with a 30% systolic function.
Yeah, 30% only, so he's lost 70% of the diastolic function of his heart?
Right, and you wouldn't know it to look at him. Like, he looks perfectly healthy, and he was complaining of some dizziness and lightheadedness, and he has a pectus deformity, so we thought perhaps that was causing it, because he also said there's pressure.
Yeah.
And so he was going to go through, get the surgery to fix that, and through the testing to lead up to the surgery is when they found this.
Okay, so what exactly did they tell you about his heart?
They said they just did a MUGA scan. They said it's 25 to 30% EF on echo, and on the other report it had global hypokinesis.
Yeah, okay. So was there enlargement of the heart muscle, did they say?
No, not at all. And the doctor was really surprised that the test came back like this, but they're saying that it's not because of his chest. But
now, did he start developing acute symptoms all of a sudden out of the blue, like lightheadedness or something? Was there something going on symptomatically that made him want to go get a checkup?
No, you know what? He's been saying for probably several years at least that, he thinks that there's so much pressure in his chest because of the deformity that he has trouble, like he gets lightheaded or dizzy or whatever. But every time he's gone to the doctors, they've never caught anything, and he's been perfectly fine. So this was kind of like really out of the blue.
Well, is the deformity a birth defect?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay. Does he have any other birth defects?
He's deaf.
He's deaf, both ears?
Yes, profoundly.
Okay. Yeah, that's a shame, eh? Yeah, my brother was deaf in one ear, my oldest brother. I'm the youngest of six. My oldest brother, so he's still alive. Both of my parents have passed, God bless them, but my oldest brother was born deaf in one ear. so I can relate. All right, so here's what we want to do to support and promote the structure and function of his body, right, with extra emphasis on the heart. Now, just keep in mind that this is a global, holistic medical nutrition intervention. So what we want to look to see is, you know, not so much specifically, well, the symptoms in and around the chest area, but everything, right? His mood, his energy, his sleep, his weight, his appetite, I mean everything. It's a global thing. Quality of his skin, the whole 9 yards, all right? So what's his current body weight, would you estimate?
133.
Now, how tall is he?
5'6".
Okay, so here's what I'm going to recommend he does once every month for 3 months. Now, I want him to do this program diligently for 90 days, 3 months, because that's about how long it's probably going to take him to be able to judge the effectiveness of this therapeutic up or down. Most people who do this program who are under 150 pounds experience a noticeable, measurable improvement inside of the first 2 weeks, all right?
Okay.
But the recommendation for everybody is that, you know, our generic boilerplate recommendation is you get on board with the program for 90 days, 90 days, before you judge it one way or the other. And most people who stick with us for 90 days, man, they love how they feel, and then after 90 days, it just keeps getting better and better. So the recommendation would be per month, 1 healthy brain and heart pack, 1 healthy brain and heart pack,
Okay.
3 bottles of ultimate selenium, 3 bottles of ultimate selenium,
Okay.
and 1 bottle of glucogel at the 240 count. 1 bottle of glucogel at the 240 count. 1 glucogel, 240, 3 ultimate selenium, and 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. That's a really good place for him to start. Plus, he and you and all his brothers and sisters and your husband and everybody in the family and me need to eliminate the 10 bad foods from their diets as soon as possible. He has to stop eating the 10 bad foods. You can get that list for free by going to my website, signing up for my free monthly newsletter, and then you get the list of good food, bad food for free. Eliminate the foods, give him those nutritional supplements, and you can order them at 855-347-3696, 855-347-3696. We're going to Oklahoma when we come back, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Are you happy it's Friday? Listen, if you're happy it's Friday, you don't have a longevity business, because if you had a longevity business, every day is Friday, because you can grow a massive income, and I mean a massive income, by working part-time. You can grow a gargantuan income by working full-time. You work at your own rate. You want to sleep until 10 o'clock? Great. You want to work until 3 o'clock in the morning? Great. You work best at night? Are you one of those night vampire people that works best from sunset until sunrise? Great. You can do it. You can do whatever you want with a longevity home-based business, because guess why? You are the boss. You make your hours. You decide when you're going to work and when you're going to play. And I got to tell you something. For an initial investment of $500 to come in at the CEO Mega Pack level, which allows you the ability to be paid 6 different ways by the company, 6 different ways by the company, you can slowly build a fortune. And I am talking about not just a little bit of money. I'm talking about a fortune which is then transferable, willable to your heirs. They keep making the same amount of money that you've made. For goodness sake, they keep getting checks every month after you pass away. Heaven forbid you stick with us, you're going to make it to 120 years anyway. That means 20 years of tax-free income, because in the United States, you stop paying income tax after you're 100 years old, and that is a beautiful thing. Going to Oklahoma now to talk to Lynn about a liver cleanse. Hey, Lynn, thanks for calling. You are live.
Thank you for calling my call, Dr. Glidden. I'm a Glidden groupie.
Hey, good girl. Keep them coming. Now, spread the word. That's how we're going to change the world. You go, girl.
Absolutely. Yes, Dr. Glidden, I take acupressure class, and I noticed that by different liver points that we press, I'm having sensitivity, so I'm thinking that maybe I have a liver problem going on. What could I do holistically to take care of that?
Well, I got to tell you what, I got to give you a round of applause here, because that makes you the smartest girl in class. I mean, come on now. You want to do, let's do that one more time. You want to do the acupuncture stuff? I mean, that's thinking outside the box. That's not a conventional thing. Love you because of that. That's just a fantastic thing. Love people that think outside the box. Love them even more when they think so far outside the box that they want to do it for a living and that they're willing to put down hard-earned money to get educated about how to do this. You are exactly the type of person that we are looking for to build a longevity, a dynasty, and change the way that medicine is practiced all around the world. So you go, girl. So there's a number of things to understand about liver function, right? First of all, the liver is a remarkably resilient organ, and it has a remarkable ability to fix and repair itself. You can surgically remove up to 2/3 of it, and it'll grow back. The whole thing will grow back. I mean, it is a remarkable organ in that regard. And so there are built-in metabolic processes that are present in your liver right now, which generate new liver cells, and through the activation of which the liver is inclined to regenerate itself. And a good liver cleanse propitiates and stimulates these built-in regeneration, rejuvenation pathways, if you will, inside the liver. So selenium, the mineral selenium, is to the liver what calcium and magnesium are to the bones. So whenever we're thinking about supporting and promoting the structure and function specifically of the liver, the first thing to do before we get all crazy with a liver cleanse, which, by the way, is a good thing to do. A liver cleanse is a good thing to do every once in a while. A better thing to do for 2 or 3 months is just to take more selenium. Take more selenium. I would do 12 selenium a day, regardless of your body weight, in order to push the optimization of your liver function. Another thing that you can do is, whether you think you need it or not, to take a couple of digestive enzymes every day, a couple of digestive enzymes, because there's bile in longevity's digestive enzymes, and bile helps to support and promote the structure and function of the gallbladder. And if the gallbladder is gummed up, you know, there's little stones in the gallbladder, or the gall is of a particular consistency, the digestive enzymes will help to straighten that out, and the selenium helps to straighten the liver itself out, and that's, you know, that's a good recipe. Now, so what I would do for 1 month is I would max out the selenium at 12 a day. I would do the digestive enzymes a couple times a day, and do those before a meal. Okay, do those before a meal, a couple of digestive enzymes before a meal. And then, starting in month number 2, get 1 bottle of Prohoba Hepol. Prohoba Hepol, H-E-P-O-L. It's a combination of herbs which stimulate the biochemical pathways inside the liver that causes liver to produce new liver cells. So I would do the Prohoba Hepol for 2 months, right? In addition, so just keep doing the selenium and the digestive enzymes. This will be a 3-month program. So increase the selenium and the digestive enzymes for 3 months, and do the Prohoba Hepol for 2 months, starting in month number 2. That, of course, in addition to eliminating the 10 bad foods and continuing the 90 for life that you've already been doing. And then look to see how you feel. Now, if after you've done that nice, slow, and steady program for 3 months, you still feel like your liver's funky, then we can talk about a liver detox program. And Longevity just hooked up with a new company called Livinity, I think. Don't quote me on that. But there is a brand new company in Longevity that has a really nice liver detoxification cleansing program, a really nice one. But I'd rather see you do this first before you jump right into that boat. Slow and steady is always better than rough and ready, right? Slow and steady is always better than rough and ready when we're attempting to fix the body from the inside out, because like my grandmother said, Peter, you don't want to scrub the pot so hard that you break it, right? So nice and easy does it here, especially with the liver. I think you're going to love how you feel. So check that out, Lynn from Oklahoma, and now get out there and enroll somebody into longevity, will you? For goodness sake, the world needs you.
Hoorah!
Hoorah! So this is how we're going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for the call, Lynn, by the way. This is how we're going to do it, and I'm going to tell you why we need to do it. Hot off the news wires today, doctors save an Ohio boy by printing an airway tube. All right, here's how the story goes. In a medical first, doctors use plastic particles and a 3D laser printer to create an airway splint to save the life of a baby boy who used to stop breathing nearly every day. In the case of this young child, doctors didn't have a moment to spare because of a birth defect. Because of a birth defect. Because of a birth defect. The little Ohio boy's airway kept collapsing. In a single day, the adventurous doctors printed out 100 tiny tubes using computer-guided lasers to stack and fuse thin layers of plastic instead of paper and ink to form various shapes and sizes. The next day, with special permission from the FDA, they implanted one of these tubes into the little boy, the first time this has ever been done. It's the wave of the future, said Dr. Robert Weatherly, a pediatric specialist at the University of Missouri in Kansas City. I'm impressed by what they were able to accomplish. Well, that's because you're an idiot. I'm not impressed at all. If the mother had had proper nutrition, the child wouldn't have been born with a birth defect. And by the way, they neglected to tell us how much this procedure cost. They neglected to tell us how much this procedure cost. You know, it had to be upwards of $300,000. What's better, $300,000? And I'm making that number up. It might be wrong, might be higher, might be lower, but you know it costs at least $100,000. You know it costs at least $100,000. And by the way, I'm glad the kid's alive. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad the kid's alive. But everybody is overlooking the obvious here. The kids shouldn't have been born with a birth defect in the first place. The majority of birth defects are caused by nutrient deficiencies in the pregnant mother, and I'm looking at a picture of this kid's mother. She's at least 100 pounds overweight. Now, why do people become overweight? Because they're nutritionally deficient. That's the only reason people get overweight, unless it's a reaction to a drug, a prescription medication. The kid's mother is nutritionally deficient. I know this just by looking at her. It's the pediatrician's fault that this child was born with a birth defect. So what's less expensive? $150 of nutritional supplements a month, or $100,000 of emergency surgery to keep the kid struggling to be alive? But you know, in the world of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. And so it is with conventional medicine. And most people reading this story would be inclined to think, oh, those doctors, they're so special, they're so great. Oh, my God, I can't wait until I get my plastic printed tube myself. Isn't that just great? The stuff they can do with surgery, well, it is great. Remember, surgery and emergency medicine intervention is the domain of the MD. This is their wheelhouse. This is where they excel. This is what they're best at. But most people not knowing anything about what we do, most people not knowing anything at all about the holistic vantage point, the holistic perspective, the tenets of naturopathic medicine, the foundation precept of naturopathic medicine, that the human body knows how to fix itself, that birth defects are caused by nutrient deficiencies in the body of the pregnant mother, in the blood of the pregnant mother that then gets into the blood of the fetus. People don't know this. And all that they see is this sickly little kid, and they think it's just an act of God or bad genetics or whatever. Well, it's not. If your child is born with a birth defect, he doesn't have a bad gene. He's got a bad doctor, for goodness sake. Much better to spend money on educating people about how to have healthy pregnancies with no birth defects than all of this sophisticated New Age Star Trek-esque medical interventions. For goodness sake, if it was up to the MDs, we'd all become Borg. Remember the Borg on, Star Trek, The Next Generation? It was a whole race of people who were half people and half machines. Well, that's what the MDs want. I mean, in a perfect MD world, right? When we're born, we'd have one kidney removed, we'd have the uterus removed, we'd have both of our breasts removed preventively. We'd get all fake joints so that we don't get arthritis. They'd rip the gallbladder out, they'd rip the appendix out, they'd rip the tonsils out. Oh, they already do that. For goodness sake, and they'd medicate us up to the gills with medications. Because this is the way of the MD. And I've got to tell you, it is an old-fashioned, archaic, out-of-date method. It doesn't work, and it never really worked. It doesn't work for the treatment of chronic disease, and that's why chronic disease is accelerating. That's why birth defects are accelerating. That's why mental illness is accelerating. And I'm going to talk about that in the next segment, the growing rise of mental illness amongst our children. It's going to stun you. I mean, fasten your seatbelts for these statistics, folks. You don't know what you don't know. And everybody in your community is suffering because they don't know the fundamental message of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition delivered by naturopathic licensed physicians. Your body knows how to fix itself. Your body wants to fix itself. It just needs a break. For goodness sake, give your body the stuff it needs. One Healthy Start Pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. One bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month. Plus elimination of the 10 bad foods is a most excellent place to start. 866-582-9933 is the number to call to speak with me, and a number to call to get those supplements for yourself, 855-347-3696. That's 855-347-3696. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Stick around. That sneaking around your back door? That's the medical doctor trying to give you on Celexa, trying to give you Lunesta, trying to give you a prescription medicine that you do not need. They tried to do it to Godfrey in Germany, but he just said no. Thanks for the call, Godfrey. You are live.
Hello?
Hello. How are you, Godfrey? Thanks for calling.
I'm okay. Thank you for helping me the other day.
Happy to help. That's why I'm here.
Wonderful. Listen, Doc, I've got a friend whose wife is having problem with...
it's called endometriosis.
Endometriosis.
Yeah. Okay, so the leading cause of endometriosis is the use of tampons. Interesting. So... Anybody that has endometriosis needs to stop using tampons. Use pads instead to help manage the menstrual flow, once a month. Endometriosis is living tissue from the uterus that's inside the abdomen instead of inside the uterus. And one of the vehicles that the ways that happens is every month when a woman who's in her reproductive years, she has her menstrual cycle, the lining of the uterus is eliminated through the vaginal canal, and that's where the menstrual flow is with the blood and tissue. Now, if you prohibit that stuff from coming out by inserting a tampon into the vaginal canal, if the anatomy of a woman is just so, and she's sleeping in a position just so, the blood flow from the uterus that's trying to get out will back up into the fallopian tubes and then dissolve into the abdomen. So one of the main vehicles that this happens is the consistent use of tampons. If I was the king of the world, tampons would be outlawed. Now, once the endometrial tissue is in the abdomen, the cat's out of the bag. And it's a very difficult thing to manage. It's a very difficult thing to manage. So sometimes, and this is the domain of the MD, a surgical intervention for this is best because they can locate the endometrial tissue and they can zap it with a laser. It's not even a complicated surgery. It's a laparoscopic surgery, so they go in with a little tiny laser tube. They find the endometrial tissue and they can zap it. Now, however, before anybody tries anything surgical, because you can't never unsurgery something, right, it's always best to give the body its due and see how far back the body can come. We might get lucky here and we might be able to prevent a surgical intervention. So the recommendation is, number 1, stop using tampons. Number 2, stop using tampons. Number 3, stop using tampons. Eliminate the 10 bad foods from the diet. Everybody needs to do that, and I know it's difficult in Germany because it's bread, and then some more bread, and then some beer and some pretzels, right? I mean, for goodness sake. Right? I mean, right. It's wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Every time you throw a stick, man, you're going to hit some beer in Germany.
That's right.
Some of the best beer I've ever had, by the way. Too bad. You know, there are companies that are making gluten-free beer. I don't know if you can find any in Germany, but if you know anybody in the industry, I'm telling you, this is the new wave. Gluten-free beer. If you can develop a really tasty gluten-free beer, you're going to be a millionaire in 5 years, and no kidding. But I digress. So, in addition, right, to eliminating the 10 bad foods, to support and promote the structure and function of the reproductive tract, the recommendation would be 1 anti-aging healthy start pack, 1 anti-aging healthy start pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month, 1 bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, and 1 bottle of Z Radical. That's Z like zebra, Radical. 1 bottle of Z Radical per 50 pounds of body weight per month. That is a very good place to start. Plus, I would emphasize a diet which is strong in cholesterol. Don't be afraid of cholesterol. Eggs and butter and salt are your friend. Have her try that program. Stop the use of the tampons and give it 90 days to see how it goes. And if after 90 days there's still a ton of cramping and pain, then she should consider having a surgical procedure to address it. But I got to tell you, after being nutrified for 90 days, she's going to be much more able to handle the stress of the surgery if, in fact, she needs it at all. Thanks so much, Godfrey. I really appreciate your support from all the way over there in the European Union. That's how we roll, folks. We are international now. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Don't even think about touching that dial.